Welcome to Figure Feedback. My name is Jeremy, and if you're watching this video, I'm going to assume that you are thinking about buying a 3D printer, whether it's a filament-based printer or a resin 3D printer. So first of all, let me say congratulations, and you are well on your way to an exciting new hobby. You're going to be finding a bunch of amazing files, printing out things you never thought were possible, and showing them off to your friends and family and watch them be amazed. It's going to be a good time. But before you get there, you have to decide, where are you going to buy the printer from? Maybe you're still trying to figure out which printer you should even get. Well, in this video, I want to help you out and provide some insight that may help you figure out where to buy a 3D printer of your choice and potentially avoid some of the potential downsides that can come with picking a seller. Your first option is going to be buying locally. Now, because 3D printing isn't really mainstream yet, it will be one day, but it's not right now, your options are going to be limited. You can't just go into a big box retail store and pick up a printer because they don't sell them. So you're going to have to rely on a more specialized store for that. And depending on where you are, you might have one, you might have a few, or you may have none. But one that is very, very popular amongst the tech crowd is Micro Center. Micro Center is a great place because they sell a wide variety of different tech products, including 3D printers, both resin printers and filament printers, as well as different accessories and different materials that you need to print with. And Micro Center is known to have sales from time to time, or if you happen to have an email address or maybe a phone number that they don't already have on file, you'll be able to get yourself a coupon that can save you some money on a particular printer. And another advantage of just shopping locally is that you get that instant gratification of going into the store, getting the printer that you want, bringing it home and starting to work the same day. So it really just helps to fulfill that instant gratification that we're all just seeking after every single day. And if something goes wrong, it's easy enough to put it back in the box and take it back to Micro Center so that you can get a full refund. So if you got a store like that around you, that's where I would try first, especially if they have the type of printer that you are looking to get, because it takes a lot of the hassle and the wait time away from buying your first printer. Now, if you don't have some place that's local to you that you can go into, another option is eBay. Now, just because it's on eBay doesn't mean it's going to be a used printer being sold from someone that you don't know and don't trust. There are some official sources on eBay that you can buy printers from that are brand new. And they can also be shipped from the country that you're in a lot of cases as well. And you'll also get that nice buyer protection that eBay extends to shoppers on its platform. And then you'll also have a lot more variety to choose from because it's a digital platform as opposed to someplace local. So you do some comparison shopping, you find the printer that you want to get and see if you can get it for the same price that you were hoping to spend for. Maybe it can even be on sale from eBay as well. So make sure that you give eBay a look because they can have some pretty nice hidden gems there from time to time. But what if you can't find the printer at Micro Center? And what if you can't find it on eBay? What are you supposed to do then? Well, fortunately, a lot of these companies do sell their printers directly from their own websites. And you'll also find from time to time, they'll try to throw in some incentives to get you to buy directly from them, which includes giving you free stuff. So they may say, if you buy a printer, we'll throw in a roll or two of filament, or we'll throw in a bottle or two of resin, or some other type of accessory, a free camera, a free upgrade kit, whatever it is that they got to do to get you to buy directly from them. And that can be really, really tempting. However, there's something that you need to consider. Many of these companies are based in China. And although they may have warehouses in the United States, or let's say if you're in Europe, they may have one there that will be able to ship directly from those warehouses so that it can get to you faster. But in the event that the stock is not in a local warehouse, it will need to ship directly from China. And that alone means that it will take longer to get to you. You may be waiting a couple of weeks, you might be waiting 3 weeks. You might be waiting even longer. It just really just depends. And that takes away from that instant gratification that we are all looking for and we're excited about getting a new product. And another thing to consider is the communication factor. These are things that I have heard from other people and I've even experienced myself. So what you have to remember is if you place an order directly from their website and they are based in China and you need to access their customer service to resolve some type of issue that you might have, you are on different sides of the world and the time zones are almost opposite of each other. So that means that when you are up and about, let's say in the United States, over in China, it's nighttime, everybody's sleeping. Or when they're up and awake, you are sleeping. So when you reach out to them, you have to wait until they wake up to get back to you. And then there's that automatic disconnect because the time zones are completely different. So getting to be on the same page at the same time might be a little bit of a challenge. Another thing to consider is the quality of the customer service, because I've heard some rather unflattering things about how many of these companies handle their customer service. And I would like to chalk it up to just being differences in culture. We all handle things differently and we perceive things in different ways depending on where we live and how we're raised. So for example, if you go to cancel an order, and I'll give an example of what happened to me personally, I go to cancel an order and instead of just, saying, okay, we're sorry, we'll cancel the order, or maybe even trying to get me to stick around by saying, if you don't cancel, we'll, throw in a little something for you. It wasn't like that. I asked to cancel the order and they're like, why? Tell us why you're canceling the order before we actually do it. And I'm thinking, because I don't want it. What do you mean why? You're telling me that if I don't tell you a reason, you're just not going to do it? So it's stuff like that you might have to consider, because it might happen to you, it might not happen to you, but it's always a bit of a risk when it comes to dealing directly from the manufacturer in this case. Or let's say that you get the printer and something is wrong with it. Let's say that is broken. You're going to have to reach back out and use that same customer service funnel to try to resolve the issue for you. And that means that you might have to box it all up and ship it right back to where it came from. You might have to ship it right back to China. And that's going to take a good amount of time. And then your money might be locked up until they can get it back. And if something happens along the way, you have to still try to communicate and you both have to get on the same page and you have to be at the same time communicating. It can just be potential for a real headache. Okay, so you have to consider that. I'm not saying that you shouldn't buy directly from the manufacturer, because I'm sure that there is more positive experiences than there are negatives, but it is definitely something to consider. Now, one thing that a lot of people say that in lieu of buying directly from the manufacturer, just go to Amazon. Amazon has everything. And in this case, they do have a pretty decent amount of brand new 3D printers that you'll probably find one that's good for you. Now, when you buy them from Amazon, you know that you're going to be dealing with Amazon's customer service. You're going to be dealing with Amazon's policies. And hey, typically it's pretty darn good. So if you want to return something from Amazon, you don't have to answer a bunch of questions. You just say, hey, I want to return this. And then they're like, hey, take it to the UPS store and we'll take care of it for you. In some cases, depending on what it is, you don't even have to have it in a box. UPS store will put it in a box for you and they'll handle all that and you'll be able to track the return. You'll have a receipt for the return. And, it's just overall a more pleasant experience dealing with the customer service because it's more real time and you're dealing with people right then and there. So if something goes wrong, you can always just return it. And you also have that benefit, especially if you have Prime, of having fast shipping. I have a printer that's coming from Amazon right now that I bought today, which is a Friday, and it'll be here on Sunday. So that's the type of stuff that is really, really hard to beat. And it was priced just like it was on the website that started the sale. But I'll show you more about that when the time comes. Should be pretty exciting. And then that brings me to price, because a lot of the time price is going to be the determining factor in where you make your purchase. Now, competition is great. So that means that if a printer is on sale from one prominent retailer, chances are another store is going to match it, and they're also going to discount it. One of the things that happened in recent memory is when the Creality K1 printer was on sale all over the place. Micro Center had a really great deal on it. Creality's website also lowered the price, and the price was lowered on Amazon as well. So when the price is competitive across 3 different channels, that gives you a lot of leverage. You'll be able to decide based on everything else besides the price what is going to be more convenient for you personally. But if you ask me, Jeremy, what would you do first? What would be your first instinctual place to go to buy a 3D printer? I'm going to say check Amazon first, especially if you have Amazon Prime, because there's a lot of different printers to choose from there, especially from the biggest manufacturers. You can even get a Prusa printer on Amazon. It's like only one model, but it's there if you want to get it. And then all of the other bigger brands, the Crealities, the Anycubics, the Elegoo's, the Chitty-Tech, and among others are right there on Amazon. And like I said, you'll have that benefit of that Prime shipping and the hassle-free, for the most part, customer service, just in case something goes wrong and you need someone to help you to resolve an issue. So that's pretty much it. I hope that this video was helpful to you in determining where you're going to buy your 3D printer. And if there's other options, or if there's any recommendations that you might have, please feel free to leave them in the comments and share that information so that other people watching this and reading the comments will be able to make an even better informed decision. Thank you all so much for watching. For more videos like this, please be sure to subscribe, because I'll always have more coming. So until then, take care of yourselves. I'll speak to you soon.